Hey, what's going on, friends and family? My name is Skylent, and I'm here to ask and answer the question, are esports worth watching actually live? So I've got this nice little pretty script written up, but you know what? Fuck it. We don't even need it. Anyways, I did a lot of math. Yeah, I crunched some numbers for you dudes, and I tried to come up with a formula, which I'm going to call the ETMR, which is going to be my entertainment to time money ratio, which is going to try to explain or elucidate the worthwhileness of actually doing anything, you know, buying from a service event an actual product and owning it, and how much time of entertainment are you getting for that, for your money. Since most people work hourly for their cash, that's kind of how I'm translating it. How many hours or how much time are you getting of entertainment for your money? Hopefully that's fine with you guys. We're going to explain that. I'm also going to break that formula down and also completely ruin it as we go through, of course, because there's different varying levels of entertainment. But basically, I'm going to try to explain as well as I can my event, what I did, and how much fun I had, and how I made to make it worthwhile for you. Going to Blizzard's Day 1 inaugural event of the Overwatch League here. Season 1. Baby, was it hype? Yeah, it was pretty exciting. So I flew to LA from Dallas, and we had a cool time. We did more than just go to the event, though, which is how we made it more worthwhile. I'll give you some tips and tricks on that if you guys want. Leave it in the comments below, ask your questions. But the eSport event, was it worth watching? $300 I spent overall, car rental, housing, you know, Airbnb, the admission, the round trip plane ticket, all that was $300 total, which is not bad for a trip for 3 days. And keep in mind, 3 days of entertainment, but the ticket was just for 1 day. So is it worth going to, let's say, something like a finals, a video game finals, you know, or the inaugural days, the day one? Is it worth flying for just any random esport event? Is it worth really traveling and going somewhere physically and planting your booty down to watch a video game still on a screen? It's still a screen. It's still a video game. But is it worth it? You know, what gets added to the experience that makes it worthwhile? And all I could do is tell you my experience, you know, tell you what I did, and hopefully it's good enough for you. Hopefully my ratio, my formula here will fit yours as well. But let me explain that real quick, guys. My ETMR is estimated time money ratio, and it's going to be based on, for me personally, it's based on movie tickets. So, you know, the average movie time, average movie cost, and I use movies because it's a premium experience. You're going there, you're getting force-fed, shoveled, pure entertainment, and let's assume it's a good movie, like maybe a Star Wars movie. Fantastic stuff. Just getting, you know, thrown into your brain for 135 minutes is the average, and the average ticket price is $9. So at that ratio, we can see that, you know, it's really not that bad. We have 15 minutes, so our ETMR is 15, so we get 15 minutes for $1. Every $1 we spend, we are getting 15 minutes of pure entertainment, you know, into our eyeballs and our earballs and whatever, I don't know. So going off of that, I did spend $20 for the admission to Blizzard Arena Day 1, which actually was 6 hours of games. 3 games, 2 hours each. That was pretty freaking worthwhile. That was amazing. You know, if you're a Berkeley or LA local, there was no excuse for you not to buy a ticket and check that out, at least for day one. Fantastic. We actually have a ratio there of 18. Our ETMR is 18 at $20 for 6 hours. Pretty freaking good. But here's the thing, guys. Esports isn't that popular yet. Even though Season 2 of Overwatch will be in different cities, we're going to have home and away games, stuff like that, just like normal sports. That's cool. But actually flying and traveling to see an esport event, the ETMR is going to start to really wane here, and this is where I'm going to have to be really critical. Now, I went for 3 days in Los Angeles, and I did more than just watch the games. I went to the pier, I played some arcade games, you know, I climbed up a mountain, I did some other stuff and things, and plus, you have to consider that my entertainment value was a little bit heightened because this is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing. This is also a career move for me. I did this as, like, basically work, as a job thing, so there's a little bit more weight to me personally, and all of you guys have your own ratios. I'm sure you all make more or less money, have more or less time, blah, blah, blah. But this is my ratio, and I think it will actually align with most people's ratio. And I just have to admit here that this was not completely worth it probably for the average individual. However, I still believe that you don't have an excuse for local games. If there's a local game, you know, if you're in New York, if you're in LA, if you're in Dallas, we're going to have local matches starting season 2. And actually Dallas and a few other cities, probably like New York, I think, have their stadiums or they have consistent esporting events. And you should be going to those because they're fun, they're cool stuff, and they're not that expensive. It's definitely comparable to basketball. In fact, I have the ATMR for basketball. And basically any sporting event is going to be worthless. But I did specifically look at basketball because this is esports, and the timing and the feeling overall is going to be similar to normal sports. You know, the seating, the overall spectation. And basketball has similar stadium sizes. It has a similar timing, considering Overwatch, at least. About 2-hour games. So the ticket prices for basketball games are going to be like double, it seems. It's going to be double of what Overwatch is at the moment, but esports is growing. It probably would get more expensive. But we could see sporting events like Super Bowl prices. Oh my gosh, you know, NBA Finals. These ticket prices are pretty grossly expensive, and the value is really low, actually, because you're not watching these super long games. And there's generally not that much action really consistently. If you consider Dota and League of Legends tickets, they're expensive, but you're getting a lot of entertainment value. You're getting a lot of value in terms of like how long the matches are, how many matches you're going to have, and also just because high quality players, high quality games, high quality viewing experiences, high quality venues. So comparing to normal sports, I have to say esports is probably, even though it's in its infancy, already pretty worthwhile, except here I'm gonna have to punch you guys in the gut. You know, I have my ETMR ratio filled out, I have all this filled out, but there is one thing, right? You know, I have all these numbers crunched out, but it doesn't matter. It kind of gets all thrown out the window when you realize that you can just kind of watch all of this for completely free. Now, normal sports, you generally have to pay-per-view. You have to either go and watch it live, or you have a subscription to the specific channels and stuff and things. And there's a lot of hoops to jump through. And I don't believe in that. I think that's bad. I don't agree with that. I think that eventually it's going to move to a free format for normal sports, but it is something to, if we're going to compare literally with numbers, sports are more expensive, debatably more premium, but video games are completely free. You can just watch them on Twitch, YouTube, whatever, it is free. Now, let's talk about that. The experience of watching it for free versus physical. Yes, when I went to the Overwatch Blizzard Arena, it was obviously the crowd, right? The crowd, the stadium. You also have stuff like you can buy merch. You have the option to buy specific event merch, which you're not going to be able to get anywhere else, like special t-shirts, maybe special jerseys. I don't know. And you're going to have special events. You're going to have cosplayers. You're going to have people screaming. There is extra stuff, but especially with the Blizzard Arena and probably modern games like Dota 2, I know does extra stuff, League of Legends. You're going to have extra information, extra visuals, multiple screens. You're going to have freaking holograms. Now, the hologram thing wasn't in Overwatch, but we did have additional screens. We had additional fixtures that helped sort of elucidate what was going on the screen. But basically, we had one big screen, and that was the stream. Like what you guys watched at home was essentially what we were watching as well. And one thing that I have to kind of complain about from my experience with Overwatch, I got a whole video on this coming, but the screen that I saw wasn't like a 244 hertz monitor, which I think would be nice. I know that would be really expensive, but let's be honest, we're watching an esport, and the whole point of watching a sport live is so that you can see the fine details that you would not be able to see on your TV screen. So a video game, which is playing, and the players are playing on these 244 hertz screen, playing at that high speed, I would want to see it. And no, the screen was not that high quality. It was a big screen, but also kind of to a detriment, which might actually make esports tickets more rare, more scarce, more expensive, is that because it is a screen, there is issues with if you're too far to the left or too far to the right, you're not going to get like as crisp of an image, you're not going to have as good of spectation, and you're not going to be able to really see the colors as well as possible either. You're basically not going to be able to see the game as well as possible because it is you're still watching a video game on a video screen. Yeah, so that becomes a little bit awkward. You might debatably actually have a better time at home. You know, that's kind of the issue that I have, and for free. However, of course, you're going to have like, you know, all the big screens to the side. You have like these cool, maybe holograms, and who knows what could be added later. You know, really good sound systems, though the Overwatch sound system, you know, I got another video for this, but it wasn't perfect. Overall, going and flying $300 to an event like this in its infancy, you don't really know what you're getting. You don't really know what's going to happen. You don't know to the quality. So it's really hard to just say for everybody everywhere, you guys, you need to be flying. You need to be seeing esports in real life. Like somebody might say, you know, the NBA finals, oh my God, so hype. The Super Bowl, so freaking hype. For just an average-ish game? No, you won't. It's just like a normal concert. It's just like a normal basketball game. You know, I really hate saying that as something that I had fun with it. And I want to support the industry, but we need higher quality stuff. I need personally higher quality screens. I'm going to need cheaper tickets. I'm going to need bigger venues, you know, because these tickets sold out. It was actually a smaller venue. Yeah, the sound system wasn't perfect. And I think it's going to be an issue, the audio visual quality of these stadiums, because not everyone can build their own stadium. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be weird. And I can't quality control every single stadium, every single game, every single setup. And even in Blizzard's own built arena, it wasn't perfect. So for esports, is it worth traveling to go and see? I would say if you already love and play the game, and if it's something that you're genuinely in love with and you've never gone and done it, like I haven't, I didn't go to an esport event ever, then yes, you can't put a price on that. You can go and travel. But I would say, you know, for it to be really strict and critical, it's really only worth, you know, I'm looking at my numbers and I'm considering all the factors. It's really only worth traveling if it's the finals and if you absolutely love the game and you're already attached. But even then, if you go to the finals, it's cool, good stuff. The price ratio to normal sports is way better, way more fair. You get way more entertainment, way more value, absolutely. However, any other thing, then you should just wait for the home games. And luckily, esports is growing, and we have stuff like Overwatch, which is going to have more home and away games. So you guys will be able to, you know, actually attach yourself to teams, attach yourself to players, go and meet them. You can have fan bases like that. You can meet friends, and I think you're going to have cool viewing parties if you want to do that. And I think overall, what Overwatch is doing is really good and a good first start, a fresh start, and a good first step here for esports. But at the moment, I don't think you should be flying all over the country to have this crazy bonanza, because it's not quite that, not quite yet. Even in Blizzard's arena, my experience, what I spent my money and time flying for 3 days, I can only say it was worthwhile because I actually traveled over, you know, I went around LA. You know, I went to the pier, I went and climbed mountains, I went and did other things, and that was just sort of the icing on the cake. That was the cherry, maybe, and that was actually the main excuse of going, but that was not my only thing. That was not the only worthwhileness to it. So that's really all I can say. You know, again, like I love video games. I love esports. I play specifically competitive games, multiplayer games, but I have to be honest and critical with you guys. My experience was not perfect, and my experience overall was not solely just based on that one esport event. And if it was, for 300 bucks of flying, traveling, all that good stuff, no, it wasn't worth it. Now, you can lower your price. It could be raised. You could raise your price. But overall, I'm just going to have to say, don't fly to go see an esport event if it's not a finals or if it's not like a day one, you know, the opening day league or something like that, you know, once in a lifetime event. Don't go to those. That's really all I can say, bluntly. Hopefully you appreciate my honesty. You know, I spent a lot of money and time on this, and we got some other videos coming. Like I said, I'm going to completely critique Blizzard's, very specifically the inaugural day of Overwatch. I'll critique that, and I got some an analysis over about Overwatch as an esport. That's coming soon too. If you guys want to support significantly deeper analysis videos and reviews versus other YouTubers, please check out the Patreon, and thanks for the donations, guys. I just want to applaud you, the friends and family, for actually supporting my trip over to LA so that I could go and do this when overwhelmingly most YouTubers would just not give it the time and effort, which I did. But I will say, I had fun. It was worth it for me personally, but overwhelmingly so, I believe, for the majority of players, it would not have been worth it. So go to your local games, absolutely. But flying, you got to really stretch to make the event worth it. Esports isn't quite at that level yet, but I'm going to have to assume maybe next year. I think this is going to expedite pretty quickly, but next year, I think esports is going to be something to really jump into, or at least next season for Overwatch. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And if you want to see my full article and all my full maths, well, I got that in the description below. You can actually, or in the comments, I'll link it to my writing. And join the Discord, actually, if you want to see the live conversation, if you want to talk about this. If you went, if it's worth it for you, if you've seen an esport game, let me know how much fun you had with that. And that's all I can say is thanks for watching, guys, and keep that hype alive. And I'll see you again next time.